Thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and in this video I'll be giving my review of Halloween Ends, the final installment of the Halloween franchise. From what I read after watching this film, that apparently this is the final film in the Blumhouse franchise of Halloween. Apparently, it's going to revert back. The rights to it's going to revert back to its previous owner, or however you want to say it, so they can continue with this. You know, I mean, if Michael Myers is the personification of evil, and apparently it's like I guess somebody gets possessed by that ultimate evil, and I guess when they killed him, then it goes to somebody else. Is that how they're going to spin it? Like Dr. Loomis said, he is the personification of evil. He is not a real person. So that person that we see, actually even see unmasked, is that just a vessel for that ultimate evil. You know, the way it ended, after a pretty damn good fight between end scene with Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. My hat's off. Seriously, my hat's off to Jamie Lee Curtis, who continues to kick ass, continues to embody this role, and she's believable. You know what I'm saying? She's believable. She's older now. She's wrinkled. She's a senior citizen. She's a grandma, but she still embodies that kick-ass survival mode Laurie Strode that we know. You know, so she was believable. What happens after that? When they kill him, they put him through a metal chipper. When I saw that last part, when I saw her standing above it, I don't know if the directors wanted us to think that she was going to throw herself into the wood chipper. I mean, the metal chipper. But she was standing on the upper part, and she basically fed Michael Myers' body into the metal chipper. We've seen that metal chipper throughout the entire movie a handful of times, but I never thought to myself, this is going to be the way that they're going to finally get rid of him. It's funny because I guess they never had the ability to to kill him, because every time they try, he leaves, right? He disappears. But I'm gonna go. I'm going to go over the film. I'm gonna talk about it, and I'm gonna give my final thoughts on it. But I'm surprised. I am so surprised that I liked this movie a lot. It went back to what it's all about: hack and slash, and survival, and body counts, and murder, and all that stuff. What was lacking last year? Oh yeah, of course they had. I mean, not last year, but the last film, Halloween Kills. Yeah, they had all that. But what I didn't like about that film is the fact that it was nothing but inane banter, a stupid storyline, dumb characters that you wished and you were glad that they got killed. You know what I mean? Because they're so dumb. Anthony Michael Hall's character, a supposed expert over 30 years that but then he can't identify that the one mental patient that wasn't Michael Myers, but he remember how he came out of the thing and goes, I think that's him, or like that, like, and they're supposed to be posing, showing people mass hysteria, right? So that's the reason why they just couldn't discern him from the. But it's like, if these people in Haddonfield, how many years that they've been talking about Michael Myers, they know what he looks like. They know what, and then this guy who's 5 foot nothing, a mental patient, that's Michael Myers. When Michael Myers is a towering, maybe 6'5", 6'6", maybe 6'8". I don't know how tall Michael Myers is, but he's a tall guy, big guy. And then this little 5 foot nothing of a person, and they thought that was Michael Myers. I get it. They were trying to go with mass hysteria, but it didn't work. I wanted everybody in that thing to die. Even the daughter, she died. I could give a fuck. I could care less. But this one, even though those kids that were picking on Corey, right, who were tough guys, and they had, like, they were the bullies, but yet they were in band camp. That one guy kept kept carrying his drumsticks with him, like you know. So I guess it takes all forms. I guess even the members of a band, high school band, can be bullies. I mean, I guess you don't want to go with the stereotypical bullies. I guess the jocks, being of like, I guess like an equal opportunity employer. I guess what you want to say it. But like I said, I'm glad. I am just surprised that I enjoyed it as much as I did, because it was just a straight up slasher movie, just straight up balls to the wall. Just they just threw it out there, and we saw character development. We saw a romance in there. We saw conflict. A lot of things, a lot of soap opera type of things. Okay, but I enjoyed it. So with that, let's go into the film. Okay. Now this thing takes place first in the Halloween 2019. We see a 21-year-old Corey Cunningham, a likable kid. He wears glasses, you know what I mean, and then he's like babysitting for a couple who I guess since he was a teenager, was always mowing their lawn and stuff like that. So they could trust him. They said, okay, we're gonna let him babysit our son. Now the son is a little shit. He's a little punk. You know, he's a harmless little kid, but you can tell he got some things going on in his head. Like he wants to mess with the babysitter, because he's probably had babysitters before. He even said, you're an ugly male babysitter. So apparently he likes the cute female babysitters. But he pulls a prank on Corey, locking him in the thing, right? You're thinking that it's Michael Myers. He has a knife, he's cutting, I guess it was gingerbread or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden the knife is gone. He goes up, he hears Corey, he hears Jeremy going, Corey, help me, help me, help me. And then what he does is that he goes up there. He has a knife with him, because he hears a lot of clanking, a lot of this noise. He goes inside the thing, right? He goes inside of the attic or room. It looked like an attic, because it looked like it's just a bunch of stuff in there that you would put in an attic. Whatever the case, he's in there, and then the guy locks it from outside. He's like banging. I go, let me out, let me out. To me, it looks like he's claustrophobic, because he was panicking a little bit too much that he was there. There's a lot of space there, but he was panicking. And then he goes, just as the parents come home, they hear him say, I'm going to kill you, you little shit, or whatever he said. And he's kicking the door. When he kicks the door open, it slams into Jeremy. He falls. He does a somersault backwards and slams face first into the ground below. I mean, the floor below. The parents come home, lift him up. His face is all smushed in. Here I am thinking that, oh, maybe he's going to survive. He'll be he'll be a paralyzed or whatever, or a vegetable. No, he died. He died. And then he was accused of intentionally killing him, but he's cleared of manslaughter. It was an accident. They didn't think that. They didn't know that, the parents. But we did, because of course we saw it, right? And that's that. Then 3 years later, they're still reeling. The town of Haddonfield is still reeling from the Michael Myers killings, the killing spree in 2018. And, Michael Myers just disappears. So we then see Laura, she's writing a memoir. She put in the last sentence, deciding whether or not it's going to let Michael Myers in, let the killer in. She was deciding on how to end it. And she was going through the things that she was going through, her mindset, how is she going to end this, And then Corey, Allison she's now a nurse, and then Corey, he works at his stepfather's salvage yard. I like the stepfather. The character's a very sympathetic guy. The mom of Corey was just a paranoid, out of her mind type of a controlling woman. You know what I mean? And she was hateable. You know what I'm saying? I felt for Corey. Yeah. And then he's on his way home, and he gets taunted by the high school bullies, and he gets injured or injures himself because he has a bottle of chocolate milk in his hand, and then they're pushing him. They know who he is. He's the psycho. He's the one that killed the kid, and he has so much anger and stuff like that. He just smashes the bottle in his hand. A lot of glass is embedded in his hand, and these punks are like. There's one girl named Margot. She was a very, very. You could tell she was someone who had a good heart, and she even said, "Are you okay?" when he was getting bullied by those guys. The problem with her is that she's stuck with these guys. Even after that, she should have just dumped them because they're just nothing but a bunch of, assholes, right? And that's gonna bite her in the end later on. I'll talk about that. Now, Laurie's there. She's like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Leave her alone," or stuff like that. And they're like looking at her, saying, calling her the psycho, or calling her the psycho, and him the psycho, and they say, "Oh, the psycho and the freak." And then Laurie's like, "Okay, well, which one of us is the freak?" Or something like that. So she takes him there and to the hospital where her daughter is. The daughter is cleaning them up and all that stuff. That there's a doctor that's right there, and he says, "Oh, she's cute, isn't she?" And then he kind of stumbles and drops something, and so the guy is kind of like because she's up for a promotion, and this guy is like a predator type of thing, and he's a guy who, you do something for me, wink, wink, what she wants them to do, and then I'll do it for you. Like the other girl, there was another girl that got what do you call it, the promotion. You know what they were doing? They were, she was giving him favors. Just leave it at that. And Allison, she's pretty much, Corey says you don't have to put up with that. Like, Allison's like, I put up with it. I put up with worse. That's what she said. Yeah, I put up with worse. Which I'm thinking, you know, she should get out of there. You know what I mean? But um, so there's that, and then that's like a thing that everybody's gonna think that those guys are gonna get theirs. When? Who knows? But then Corey and Allison, they do develop a relationship. They get close. They go to a Halloween party, and then Jeremy's mother is there, and she tells her how every night she can't go to sleep, and she wakes up, she's in pain. How dare you come here without your mask on? You don't have your mask on. You think it's okay for you to just show your face around? It's like that, and then he has an argument with Allison, saying that how come you put me in that situation? You know, that's why I don't like going out, especially because of the situation that's around him. Everybody's just looking at him. In a way, they're like giving him like side eyes, and they're giving him like looks and glares when he walks off and shit. You know. But then and this is a situation right here again. Corey leaves the party and he runs into the bullies. He runs into the bullies, and they throw him off the bridge. The guy, the lead, the nerd, the fun, the nerdy bully, if that's even a possibility. But he is like, oh well, he fell. Now one girl, Margot, is like, what'd you do? Even the other girl was like, what'd you do? You threw him over. He's like, well, he's pretty much saying, no, we don't care about him. We don't care about him. Who cares? Who cares? Just go off, right? They just go off. And so that's that. And then he falls over, and then he's dragged into the sewers. And he's confronted by Michael Myers. The first half of this movie was great. I was having a lot of fun with it and like that. And when he shows up, you start getting a little bit like, like we'll see as this review goes on, and how his relationship with Corey and how that came about and stuff like that. Now Michael Myers got him, had him in his grasp. He was choking him at one point. He just lets him go. So on the way out, Corey's confronted by the homeless man, the one homeless man that we see throughout the film, and in the struggle, Corey stabs him to death, and he flees. Was it intentional? Don't know. But I think that at this point, it's almost like I said, I think Michael Myers has a way of controlling people. And I think that whatever aura, whatever evil that's in him, he's able to, see somebody who's evil just like him, and he utilizes that person as a vessel. Who knows, right? Who knows? But like I said, he stabs him and he flees. And then Corey and Allison, they go on a dinner date. But then Allison's ex-boyfriend, Doug Mulaney, a police officer, shows up and he harasses them both. I mean, he wouldn't take the hint. At one point, when he kept talking about, yeah, you're gonna call me, come on, da 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 da, and she's getting uncomfortable, more uncomfortable, and he's like going, we're okay. It's like, it's almost pretty much telling him, get the fuck out of here. You're bothering my girl, da 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 da. And then when he goes back, all right, he still wasn't backing off. He stood right up to him. This dude's bigger than Corey, And the guy, you can see he's like swallowing his like a big gulp in his throat, and they go, all right, all right, and he goes over there, and then those guys that are with him, apparently those were his fellow officers or maybe friends, but they're saying, do you want us to beat him up? He's like, oh no, no, I'll take care of it later. So I'm thinking that yeah, he's gonna pursue him later, you know, and so that's that, and then like I said, Corey does lure the cop into the sewer. He's gonna lure him to that one spot where Michael Myers can fucking grab him. And then as he confronts, he goes face to face with Mike Myers. He kicks him off him, and then Corey, then gets into it, beats him up, punches him, knocks him down. He's like, "Show me!" He's like pushing Michael Myers back. Show me how to kill him. And then while Corey is like holding him, Michael Myers is, stabbing him. Methodical stabs, not just. He's like, boom. He's making it count. Like he's digging that knife deep into his chest, neck, wherever he was stabbing him, like this. And then he goes again. And then Corey is like delighted. Ooh, he loves it. He's getting a rush out of it. Now, like I said, Allison. We go to Allison and she's passed over. She's all congratulations to this girl who got the promotion. She's having an affair with this doctor. And then she's like upset because there's one instant scene where he has a piece of like a paperwork and in the folder, and he goes like this and doesn't even make sure that she has it in her hand. He practically almost just drops, like he just goes like this, and she grabs it. And while they're both walking out, talking, giggling, the girl and the doctor, she sees the thing. She just slams it down. So I said these two are done for. They're gone. Now Corey then kills the doctor while she's gonna ready to take a shower, and then she's killed by Michael Myers. Like she evades him, locks the door, but Michael Myers is inside. And then Allison, she's planning to leave Haddonfield. Because of the past trauma. Corey tells her that we just let's go. Lori, being smart, knowing the situation, seeing that there's evil in Corey, she becomes suspicious of him. Now, he then shows her, like Jeremy is sleeping right in the spot where Jeremy died. He even showed what do you call it? He talked to Laurie and go. I mean, not Laurie, but he talked to what do you call it? To Allison and said, that I killed somebody. I thought he was confessing to the murder of the what was that? The homeless man, but he was talking about Jeremy. Showed him, talked about what happened, and then when he's found sleeping there, Laurie finds him there, and she tries to offer him help. But the condition is you got to distance yourself from Allison. You're not going to be. You're not good for her. He even said something to the effect that, if no one will, if I can have her, no one else will. I'm like going, oh, come on. That's like the one thing that made me cringe. Like, you're gonna use that line, you know, that line that we've heard when it comes to people that have killed their loved ones and all that stuff, or killed somebody. They always go, a girlfriend. They always go, for no one, no, I can have her, no one else will, kind of thing. So it was kind of like, oh, you got to use that line, but it didn't make it ruin it for me. It just made me go, what? Why? What really? But then Corey, he retorts her by blaming her for the events that have occurred in Haddonfield and says that if he can, like I said, if he, like I said, if he can't have her, no one will. Like, really, you're gonna say that? But anyway, let's move on. Now, on October 31, I should say, Corey returns to the sewers and successfully fights Michael Myers for his mask. That's one of the other things too. Like he's, how he's like a supernatural kind of a horror. You can't, and like he was able to fight him for the mask. Okay, then when he gets the mask, you see Michael Myers step up. He looks, but before you can see his full unmasked face, it fades off and goes to the next scene. Now, and then Laurie and Allison, they have an argument that she plans to leave, and Allison, she blames Laurie for Michael's actions. It's just like the one lady who confronted her because you remember in the last movie the lady whose throat was slashed, she actually survived which I'm happy for because I kind of like felt for her character. You know what I mean? And she, she can't talk, but her daughter, I guess that's her daughter, is telling her that it's your fault. And I was wondering, why is it Laurie's fault when it's like she's fighting Michael Myers too? Like, it's not like she's saying, Mike, I want you to kill these people, but he exists because of her. I guess that's what it means. Whatever. I guess that's what it means. And that night, with the mask on and everything, he has his jumpsuit. It's kind of funny how they have him wear a jumpsuit at his job. He works at a like a dump, an auto tow place, whatever. They fix cars, and so he has that. So I guess it's convenient. He has that on, and he can wear the mask, and he'll be the Michael Myers for this thing. Right now, he embarks on a rampage, and he's murdering the bullies. He murders those bullies after luring them into the salvage yard. He stabs the one guy with his drumstick because the guy apparently that's his prop. Hey, it's my drumstick. I'm gonna use this as a prop. It's just like, why are you using that as a prop? We get it. You're in the band. Does he always have to have that on him? He stabs him in the thing with, like, and then the one girl, fortunately, the one who, like I said earlier, her sticking with them, hanging with them, bite her in the ass. What happens? She ends up getting rolled over, like she's on the fence. The fence is on her. She's still alive, and the stepfather comes out because the other girl, she got her head bashed in with a wrench. And then he goes to the one guy, the leader, goes to them, asks for help from his father, his stepfather, who owns the shop. He comes out with a gun. He gives a shotgun to. I don't understand why he did that, because it's like, why are you just gonna give a kid random? I guess for protection. I don't know, whatever. That bit him in the ass later too. He's out there. He sees Corey. He turns around. He gets up. He's like this, like, hey, don't. Because the guy goes, I got you, I got you. He shoots the stepfather in the head. He drops dead. And then when she goes over to help, he goes over there to help Margot. Margot's like this, and he goes, come on, come on, come on. What happened to so and so? The girl. Oh, she's dead. And then she goes, you're dead too. And then basically he's knocked down and blowtorch. You can see him getting his mouth blowtorched and whatever, and he's dead. The other girl, she looks up at Corey. She's like, you're like, oh shit, like this, and then also you see her head get stomped in, and then if that ain't enough, he drives the car off and rolls over her head again. So she's dead. All these guys are dead. They're all dead. All the DJs. Good. Not DJs. All the bullies. The other girl, Margot, she may have had feelings for him in the sense that she felt for the guy, but you want to stick with them, that's your fate. Whatever. Right. Now, he goes and then he kills his mother. Even though she was a paranoid, dumb bitch, but I didn't want her dead. It's kind of funny. Like, nobody in this thing I wanted dead. You know what I mean? Like the last movie, they were all acting so stupid. The dumb storyline, dumb dialogue, and I'm like going, I'm fed up with you guys. I've had enough. I don't care if any of you die. Even like Michael Hall, he's like the hero in the movie, kind of. And I still didn't care that he died, and his character died. Here, the same thing. Kills the mother. He goes on and he kills the DJ. Now the DJ had an attitude. He was a punk, saying that he's gonna beat you up if you're back on my property. I'm gonna beat your asses. I'm gonna. So when he died, I didn't care. I mean, it's just like indifferent. I'm like, okay, whatever. The guy was an ass. The guy was a thing, whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe he's the one that I'm like going, I don't care if he died, because he was a jerk. He didn't deserve to die, because none of these guys really do. But I'm like, huh? You crossed paths with Corey. You said what you said. It seems like he was going after everybody that had an attitude with him or gave him grief. And like I said, he taunted him earlier, so you're fair game as far as I'm concerned, right? Now, at Terry's, at Lori's house, she attempts suicide. Foul attempts. Like just fake attempts, but Corey then, he then finds her. And you hear a gunshot, but it was the pumpkin that she shot, and then she says something like, you honestly thought that I was gonna kill myself. And then, he's like, yeah, she pretty much said that. And then she shoots him twice, knocks him down. Go ahead and kill me. Come on, go ahead and kill me. He goes for the knife, and then he uttered the word again. Oh, if no one can have, if I can hang her, have her, no one will. No one else will. And then he stabs himself in the neck. Now she stabs the thing in his neck. She goes to grab the thing. We saw earlier, like maybe a minute earlier, that Allison pulled up, and she has that knife in her hand. I'm like going, this again, where you're just making it convenient for you to look guilty when she comes in. We've seen this so many times in movies. She could have just left it in there, got out of there, and Allison would have been like, "How come you killed him, didn't you?" And then she would have. But of course, this is those type of movies where this happens. Who cares, right? It's a movie. It's a slasher movie. It's a horror movie. Don't expect sense to be in these type of movies. That's why I liked it so much, because it was like old school. It was like harkening back to Halloween, the first one, harkening back to Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, where it's just a straight up slasher, straight up just blood and guts, and it's just simple. Don't try to make complex characters and give them dialogue that sounds stupid as fuck, But no, here everything worked for me. I like this movie. It got a 41%, something like that, on Rotten Tomatoes. Who cares? Those are critics. I gotta tell you guys, whoever watches this video, don't listen to the critics, because they're critics. They're just like us. They got an opinion. You know what they say about opinions, right? It's like assholes. Everyone has one, right? If anything, I believe in the, what do you call it, in the audience score, because that's a simple person. That's like a regular person like myself, But I don't even want to listen to that either, because that's their opinion, not mine, you know. But he does that, and she comes in. Allison comes in and says, "You killed him," or something like that. She's beside herself. She's angry. She just gets out of there, goes out of there. And then Michael arrives. He suddenly arrives and he kills Corey. He reaches for the knife, Michael does, and then Corey stops his hand, grabs his hand, and then he basically just grabs Corey's head, and I thought he was going to squish his head and just make it splatter. Right? He did that to what's his name, to Anthony Michael Hall's character, and he just goes, snaps his neck. Done. He's dead. And then this right here is, I loved it. The fight scene, the final fight scene. Laurie Strode is a badass. She held her own. She did everything she needed to do to try to survive. He's like throwing her over the table, and she goes for the knitting needle. I'm going up. That's not going to work, because he used it before. He's ready for that, and yes, he was. He was ready, and he takes it and starts putting it in her head, and she's able to headbutt and get him out of the way, going back and forth, fighting like that. And finally, she's able to get him on the table. She has a knife in his hand, and then she's pounding it in, and the other hand too is nailed in. She gets the refrigerator, incapacitates one of his legs. He's kicking with the one leg and stuff like that. And then Allison arrives to help subdue, and she helps to kill him. And you see her doing the thing where she cuts his wrist. She already cut his neck. He said that you're never going to what was the word, but it's pretty much thinking that that's going to be the final thing. And when she goes, he actually has strength to choke her. And she's like, "Go ahead, go ahead." I think she was ready. She's really willing to just give in and go, "Okay, we're gonna die together." So just But then she comes in, pulls his hand away. Allison does, and then breaks his hand, kind of just pulls it back. And that's when you see her, Laurie, slice the thing. I was like this. You got one leg free, cut that femoral artery right in the thigh there. That's how you can also bleed out, just like if you cut someone's jugular. So I was thinking, do that. He didn't do it, and they just let him die. You see his hand drop. You could even hear her say, "Let go, let go." Kind of like a last minute thing, kind of like going, "It's time to go. It's time to leave. Time to let go. Time to, leave this earth." Like it's like pretty much telling him that, And then you see Laurie and Allison take his body to the salvage yard by police escort, attracting the citizens of Haddonfield. They're following him around like in a procession, and then they dispose of his body in a metal like chopper. I read it's an industrial shredder. Okay, so that's that. And like I said earlier, that's they disposed of him. That's it. But I'm thinking that if he's the personification of evil, did his spirit leave his, and now it's gonna find someone else? That's probably how they're gonna continue it, because this is Blumhouse's version. This is their trilogy. This is their franchise, and then they give the rights back to the original owner, and then they're gonna do what they want to do with it. I think you should just leave it at this because they went out on the highest, according to me, because this is the best film out of the entire series. Now, days later, in the ensuing days, Allison and Laurie they reconcile, and then Allison leaves Haddonfield for a new beginning, and then you see Laurie. There's a ring at the door. She goes over there. Deputy Hawkins leaves her a not a fruit basket but a vegetable basket. And then he's about to leave, and then she goes, "What what was that you're saying about the cherry blossoms?" And then he comes over, sits down, and they reconcile their romance. Why not? Why not? Why not give Laurie Strode a a fairy tale ending? This is it. That's it. This section, this you know, this universe of Laurie Strode and Michael Myers. That's it. That should be it. If they're gonna continue it, just do a thing where it's someone else taking up the mantle of what's his name, Michael Myers, because he's evil spirit inhabited someone else. But it's like just leave it alone. You pretty much have bled out this entire like story, this franchise. It's enough already. To me, it went out with a bang. All the it's a bookend to the first one. All of it's like it's been tied. It's been wrapped up as a gift, a little bow, and that's it. That should be it. 'Cause I enjoyed it. I really thought this was a good movie. The best out of the three, and that's not saying much because the other two, as much as I liked the first one, a lot of problems with that one. Last one, Halloween, oh my God, Halloween Kills was totally just a clusterfuck. I don't know what the hell who the writers were. If they're the same writers, they must have improved from last one. You know, even the guy, the one main deputy guy, the one guy that showed up, right? And when they're saying, "Oh, this isn't right," you don't do it this way. He's all like, "Well, it is tonight." That's the same guy who in the last movie was talking stupid shit, like he was talking inane babble and all that stuff. And then even Deputy Hawkins was the guy who was always about, we gotta get rid of him. He was like the sensible one. He's the one character that I liked from the last movie. You know, but I swear in this movie I didn't want nobody. Really, I didn't want nobody to die because they were annoying. Because it's just like, oh, just get rid of them. Because how annoying are they? Stupid, talking crap and talking nonsense, right? The DJ guy was the one that was just like, because he was a punk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna beat your asses if you come back here on my property. And I'm like going, and when he died, I'm like going, okay. His head was getting bashed into the disco, into his DJ setup, and then his tongue was sticking out, and then Corey just slices his tongue off, and then it's going on the turntable and everything. But yeah, I mean, this movie really it was a lot of fun, and like I said, it reminded me of slasher movies from the past, where it's just like it's all about this the slash and hack and all that stuff. That's it, murders. That's what these things are all about. Not no complicated story, love interests, relationships, you know, stupid inane babble and stuff like that. The dialogue was good in this thing. I like the story. I like the pacing of it. The first half was really great, and because it really set the tone. I admit that when it started with the relationship of Allison and Corey was kind of like at times it's kind of making the train go off the track a little bit, and then when it started picking up, you went back on track and everything was good. The whole thing about Michael Myers pretty much controlling him, inspiring him. I don't know, because he had some evil inside him, Corey, and it came out, and Michael Myers saw that and said, "Okay, I'm gonna let you take care of business, while I'm here." And he finally got out, and Michael Myers started doing his thing. Did they kill him for real? He went through a damn, metal chipper, an industrial shredder. But his spirit could have easily gone out and inhabited someone else. If they're going to continue this thing, I guarantee you that's how it would have been. That's how it's going to end up. But we got to wait and see. You know how Hollywood is now, man. It's like They're in that whole thing where they want to bring back franchises. They want to bring back stuff that's been done 40 years ago, and they want to bring it back. I mean, it's kind of like enough already with that. But hey, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. We can't tell them what to say, what to do. We just have to be like the ones to be like, enough already. Stop going to the movies. Stop going to these movies that are being rebooted and all that stuff. Just stop going to them. And then what'll happen when you do that? Then they'll go away. Maybe, who knows? But like I said, I enjoyed it. Surprisingly, I thought I'm thinking to myself, I was debating whether or not I want to watch this movie. My brother's telling me, "Did you see the movie yet?" I said, "No." He said, "Okay." I'm like, I've been debating watching this, but surprisingly and shockingly, I enjoyed it. I thought it was just a straight up balls to the wall horror movie, hack and slashed and murders and all that stuff. It was nice. It was pure. It was like, to me, it was just the right way to end it. People are probably arguing about it, and I've seen some things like, oh, people now want to clamor for it to have a different ending. What kind of different ending do you want? He was put through a shredder. His body's, I don't know where they put his body, but they didn't even have a marker. They decided no marker, no tombstone, nothing. And then the story is just going to go away over time, according to Laurie's words. But whatever. You guys are what do you call it? If you ask your opinion, that's what you. Okay, that's fine. I can see people not liking the ending, but I totally liked it. I thought this movie was, like I said, the movie was good, surprisingly good, shockingly good. I'm surprised I liked it, but I did. Some things here that I question, but to me it goes along the lines of the fact that it's a horror movie. What else do you want? You're not looking for Shakespeare, for Hamlet. You're not looking for a tearjerker or anything like that. It's a straight up horror movie, and that's what I loved about it. But anyway, that's my video. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, appreciate it. And in closing, and as always, take care.